Hi everyone, welcome this week to Tactical Thursday. My name is Ray Selvadurai. I'm Director of Coaching for Manhattan Soccer Club. This week we will focus again on the defensive side of the ball, talking about our strategy and concepts at MSC and defending in the attacking third of the field. I always tell my players that defending really starts up top with our forward line. A lot of people think defending just is a concept that only our defenders or we should be teaching in our midfield or in the defensive end of the field. But really, our team defending concept starts up top. That if we're successful there in executing our strategy and concepts, we can gain advantage either through a scoring opportunity or keeping the other team from advancing the ball into dangerous areas that we would have to defend in either in our middle third of the field or in the back line. So again, this week focusing when we're out of possession and defending in the attacking third of the field. Like every week, and as a matter of review, the MSC way or our strategies or concepts are really built into our training program for practices and also in our game plan on match days. So again, at MSC, the game is played in 5 moments in the 4 phases of the field that we talk about. Today we're talking about defending in the attacking third of the field, so that falls into moment number 2 when we're out of possession and having to defend as a team. So that goes along the concept that we've been working on the last few weeks, talking about the defensive side of the ball. Again, if we can gain an advantage here in defending in the attacking third of the field, we can create a scoring opportunity for ourselves and really prevent the other team from being dangerous and creating opportunities for themselves and advancing the ball. So again, this week focusing on the defensive side of the ball when we're out of possession. So when we speak about the MSC way, or what are the goals and key aspects of defending in the attacking third, we really want to prepare our players so when they're in this moment and in the phase of the field that they're able to succeed. So in number 1, you'll see that there's 2 trains of thought when it comes to defending the attacking third. We can either be a high press or high pressure team, which is really frenetic and really try to force the other team into mistakes so we can try to win the ball. We expend a lot of energy doing that, and maybe we can get a goal scoring opportunity or possess closer to goal because of that if we're successful. Or we could be a low block defending team where we don't really expend as much energy. We allow the other team to build from the back and really clog up lanes and prevent them from really trying to advance the ball from their defending third or our attacking third into our dangerous areas where we have to defend, which is the midfield or our defensive third. So there's 2 trains of thought. High press, Liverpool. I always think of Liverpool when it comes to that. Low block, I think of Burnley. You'll see I attached a video of Burnley and their success when it comes to defending in more of a low block type situation where they were pretty successful in the Premier League. And sometimes teams have to adjust depending on the opponent. But at MSC, we try to use a mix of both, okay? High press and low block. And really in number 1, you'll see in orange, it depends on the situation of the game in order for us to take an advantage. So again, it's a situational mix of how we defend in the attacking third. Our players know how to high press. They also know how to defend in the low block. But can we gain an advantage in a moment of the game by implementing either one? So that comes from number 2, our front 3. Those forwards in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. Again, I won't forget the number 1, which is the goalkeeper when it comes to laying out the numbers for these type of systems of play. It's those front players that need that awareness, okay? Meaning they're the trigger. Are we going to press, right? So they take the lead, or are we going to low block and they take the lead from there? And everyone else behind them, the midfielders and defenders and goalkeeper, they all kind of fall in line and provide support in behind them. So we'll get into the specifics of high press and low block defending, but it's really our forwards that we depend on. It's not the coach. The coach, our job is done in training. There comes a point in the match where we really want our players, when it comes to tactics, to take the lead here. So if you're a forward and you play on our teams, there's a great responsibility in how we defend on attacking in the attacking third, and it really falls on those players. Okay, so there's 2 trigger areas in number 3. When do we defend in the attacking third of the field? Well, one area is when the ball starts at the opponent's goalkeeper or number 1, or there's a dead ball where there's a foul or throw in that's deep in the attacking third. And where do we start our pressure there? okay, that's where we have to decide, are we going to low block or are we going to high press, okay? Or in the second situation, the ball enters the attacking third on the flow of play. So we're in our defensive third, we're in the middle third, and we play the ball into the attacking third. What is our trigger in those front three players, those forwards? What are we going to do? Are we going to high press or are we going to low block from there? So again, a lot of decisions have to be made. It's easily said, as I'm saying here in this presentation, but it's difficult to execute properly, as you see in the blue below. It takes quick analysis from players and decision making, okay, and that goes into training a mindset in our game plan, in our training plan, so our players are prepared. So number 4 is the key objective here when we talk about defending in the attacking third of the field. And that's to keep the other team from gaining an advantage to enter our middle or defensive third of the field with fluidity, right? Meaning they're able to just go in one fluid motion and gain an advantage and get into those dangerous areas where we have to defend. So the goal, the objective in orange in number 4 is to break that fluidity, to either win the ball higher upfield and create a scoring opportunity where you see in parentheses high pressure, or we get numbers behind the ball so we can be compact, contain, delay, block up passing areas, and that allows us to defend with more of a low pressure or low block defending, as you see in parentheses there. So again, at MSC, we use a situational mix to gain an advantage in these two types of schools of thought when it comes to defending in the attacking third. At MSC, we really implement a situational mix of high press defending in the attacking third and low block defending in the attacking third. So it is really important for our players to understand how to implement both. It's really those trigger points, which is our forwards, the front three in a 4-3-3 or in a 4-2-3-1, where they really need to dictate to the rest of the group, which is the midfielders and the defenders behind them, as we squeeze upfield, what we're going to do in terms of high pressure or low block defending. So very important that every single player, regardless of their position, that goes to my concept that I always talk about at the end of every lecture, regardless of position, everyone needs to be prepared of how to high press and low block defend. So in this slide, we're going to talk about high press defending. What I like to do is break it into categories to simplify the concepts so players are able to understand it. And you'll see those in orange, and we'll run through each one. Again, simple to lay out on a slide in the presentation, but very difficult in order to train our players to make sure they have the proper mindset, to make sure that they're prepared for this moment of the field. So now our front three has decided to high press. So the first concept that we're going to talk about is the line of confrontation. That's where we start our pressure upfield, okay? Where on the field in parentheses. So in high press defending, we're talking about a high line of confrontation. It may even be the other team's 18-yard box. So or what are those moments? So we're pressed high upfield. We establish a line with our front three at the other team's 18-yard box. So when the ball is at the goalkeeper, number 1, right, we press high at the 18. And we establish that line of confrontation. Or there's a dead ball or foul or throw in the attacking third of the field for the other team. Or if, the ball is played or advanced through the flow of play, meaning the ball's in our defensive third or our midfield phase, and we've now played into the attacking third of the field, but the other team has gained possession, so we look to press high at that point. So that line of confrontation is dictated by our front three. Second category, who leads? As I mentioned before, it's the front three forwards. Mainly in a 4-3-3, which is what we use, or in a 4-2-3-1, whoever those front three players are the ones that dictate, that say, hey, we're going to high press at this point, depending on their actions and their verbal communication, and everyone else behind the midfielders and defenders try to step in and support the play. Who supports? Like I just said, those midfielders, those 3 midfielders, or outside backs pushed it a little bit higher. Okay, and at MSC, we like to have one center back pushing a little bit higher. I like to have one center back a little bit deeper who's connected with our goalkeeper that's off the line. That gives us a little bit of safeguard for a ball that's played over the top. That's just me as a director of coaching and what I like to implement as well. Sometimes we like to keep a really high line. So I see a lot of teams try to do that with their defenders at half field, but I like to keep one a little bit further back, okay? So again, the pressure triggers. Right? Where does the pressure come from, right? Our front three. So if you're one of those front 3 players, or even if you're any one of the positions that's upfield, where you're outside back, you have to really watch the other team in order to press them. So what are some key moments from the other team that allows us to really signal and apply some pressure there? So as you see, pressure triggers, the opposition's head is down, right? If they're receiving the ball and the head is down, they have no idea what's in front of them, right? So we should really try to squeeze and pressure them there, okay? Or the opposition's back is turned, right? They can't see where the pressure is coming from. They're receiving the ball, the back is to the play. That's where we can double team. That's where we can really squeeze and try to win the ball further upfield and apply a lot of pressure on people. So these are trigger moments from the other team where you should really try to. Or a poor touch. One of the players in the attacking third of the field for us on the other team has a poor touch. That means that gives us time. They don't have control of the ball, and then we can really kind of get on them and put pressure and try to win the ball there. So again, those trigger moments, those are things that we train, that we try to get into our mindset. So when we're pressuring high, that gives us an advantage if our players are able to find these moments right away, identify these moments right away, and get after the other team. So again, the objective when we try to high press defend in the attacking third is to pressure the opposition with numbers, right? Our front three, maybe they try to squeeze, they try to double team. We get our midfielders in there, in behind them, trying to anticipate and win the ball. And even our outside backs and one center back can be in there as well, right? And what we want to do is win the ball further upfield. That's the goal. Let's get the ball further upfield. Those are situations that are really, really high percentage for us in terms of maybe getting a scoring opportunity, right? Maybe possessing the ball further upfield. And the key thing is the defense, right? The other team, the opposition, is really dispersed. Really, they're not in situations right now if they're trying to possess the ball where they can defend effectively and quickly. So if we can win the ball, we can create an opportunity. But here's that situational moment in orange, the last point when you see when in the game, right? We try to do this early on, right? Let's expend the energy at that point. Really try to put the other team under some pressure in their defensive third or our attacking third to try to gain our objective of win the ball further upfield, right? Especially, we try to do that after a goal as well. Like we've scored a goal, and you'll hear me sometimes say, hey, let's put pressure on and try to get the second goal right away when the other team has to react to us scoring on them, right? But definitely when the ball's at the goalkeeper, the other team's goalkeeper at number one, that line of confrontation will be higher upfield. And let's see if they react. If they try to build when our line of confrontation is high, then that gives us an advantage. If they try to play the ball long from a goal kick, we have numbers back. And we're going to try to win the ball there when everybody is squeezed from our midfielders and our defenders into the other team's half of the field. So, again, easy to lay out on a slide. The most difficult thing is training these concepts and really trying to get our players to be successful and understand what we're trying to do in high-pressure defending. Sometimes you can find some great graphics on the internet to really illustrate your concepts. So here you have a kind of a funny graphic in a way. You see you get Liverpool, Man City, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. But for our purposes, in terms of high press defending, if you focus on the team in red, you'll see that this is a really good diagram of what we're talking about in terms of our concepts and what we're trying to do. So if you focus on the number 9, you'll see that our line of confrontation is really high, right? Focusing on the red team going from right to left. That number 9 is almost on the other team's 18. We're allowing them to build there. You see how number 9 and number 10 are looking to squeeze there, looking to try to pinch. If they're aggressive and putting some pressure, they're going to try to win the ball further upfield. And you see all the other players, right? The 11, 21, 5, 7, 26, 4, 6, 66, and 13. These are actual numbers of the players, not positional numbers, but they're all squeezed into the attacking half of the field, trying to win the ball, trying to gain a net opportunity there in order to either create a scoring opportunity or possess the ball further upfield so the next play may create a scoring opportunity. So this is a really good diagram here. As you see, though, all 4 backs, the number 4 and the number 6 center backs are really pressed all the way to half field. My preference would be to have one of the number 4 or the number 6 a little bit further back, and number 13 there, which is the goalkeeper, off his line, just to protect us from the ball there. So this is a really good illustration of what high pressure would be. And again, that high line of confrontation, the number 9, where the pressure starts, is really further upfield all the way to the other team's 18. So again, watch the game. I always tell people, be students in the game, watch the game at a higher level, and you'll see if there's a high press situation, you'll see that the pressure is further upfield, all the way pretty much deep in the attacking third of the field. And again, the trigger point starts with the front three players. Again, I can't stress enough when it comes to the MSC way and how we defend in the attacking third of the field that we use a mix, and it's very situational. And the trigger point is our three forwards in the 4-3-3. They're the leaders. They're the ones that have to trigger if we're going to high press, or in this situation, in this slide, talking about low block defending in the attacking third. So again, very important for our players, every position, to understand what we're doing, when we're doing, and in what phase of the field and what moment that we're going to be defending in the attacking third. So again, the same concepts, those general concepts that we talked about that you see here in orange, to make it simple for our players to understand the concepts of low block defending, attacking third. So again, going back in comparison to high pressing in a low block defending situation, the line of confrontation, or where on the field, or where do we apply the pressure? Well, it's a little bit more withdrawn. Okay, it's a little bit lower, probably about 30 yards from goal, not quite where it was on the high press on the 18-yard box, but it allows the other team, especially if the ball is at the goalkeeper at number one for the other team, where there's a dead ball, or that's higher in the attacking third, or a throw-in. We allow the other team to build from the back by having a more withdrawn type of defending style or line of confrontation. So this is where we try to take the pressure off and also bring back the type of pressure that we put on. Who leads? Well, again, it's the front three forwards in the 4-3-3. Okay, they are the ones that establish that line of confrontation. So everyone else who supports the next category, the midfielders, outside back, one center back for us, who's now squeezed into the offensive half of the field, or attacking half of the field. We have numbers there that allows the other team to build and allows us to slow the opposition down. So what are the pressure or the trigger points here? Well, we allow the opposition to build with a more withdrawn or lower line of confrontation. So we start applying pressure from the front three as the opposition starts to approach that line of confrontation. When that happens, almost the same concepts come in with the high press, and we try to win the ball, or we try to force the other team backwards, or delay them from getting into those dangerous areas that we talk about. As you see, we want to prevent the other team from advancing the ball and getting into our midfield and our defensive third with ease, which are dangerous areas for us to have to defend in. So again, what's the objective here in a low block defending? Well, we want to slow the opposition down, as you see on the slide. Prevent them from advancing the ball with ease, maybe force them backwards. We have 10 people behind that lower line of confrontation, 11 if you include the goalkeeper as well. So we're really clogging up passing lanes. We're staying nice and compact, giving up the outsides a little bit, but more defending those crucial areas. But we still want to try to win the ball and counter while conserving energy. In a low block, we're not pressuring, we're not chasing, we're not trying to squeeze people. We're really staying positional, that when we win the ball, that we have the energy that we've conserved by defending in this type of style, and then when we're able to counterattack with speed, which is something that we do very well here at MSC and we try to stress. So last point, when in the game do we try to low block defend? Well, sometimes when we have a lead. And where we're in the closing parts of a half, and we need to be a bit more situational in how we defend in the attacking third. So you may see us in a low block situation in these type of moments. These are the type of situations that we try to stress. But again, the key part is I want to give this back to the players as a director. We want to train our players so they make these decisions on their own. So they become critical thinkers. They analyze the situation so they know if we go from high press to low block, and it's up to the players to make those decisions. And that's when I know as a director, our coaching and the work that's done in training, or what we stress in our game plan, really has been imprinted on the brains of our players, and then they're able to make these decisions on their own.